All right, let's take our first look at your traffic and weather this morning from the Wetzel's Automotive Traffic Center. And fortunately, things looking okay on the roadways so far, with the exception of an accident at I-77 northbound at Bluff Road. That is exit number 5. There are a couple of left lane blocks there, so be sure you're careful as you're making your way through that area. Other than that, everything looking relatively okay on the roadway. Right now, currently sitting at 47 degrees in downtown Columbia. High today of 72 with a little bit of rain in the forecast, but that's the last rain for the foreseeable future. 68 tomorrow, 66 on Saturday, and then high of 70 on Sunday with plenty of sunshine through the weekend. That's your traffic and weather on the early game.
Rolling along live from ProSwing, where you can come and hang out with us today. We appreciate everybody who swung by yesterday and visited, and we look forward to seeing some more people today. 4708 Forest Drive here in Forest Drive is where you can come out and hang with us today as we get you up and get you going on your Thursday morning, the official start of the Masters. Preston Thorne, and also maybe, just maybe, is this it? Is this the official start of talking season?
No, it's not talking season yet because we're still playing spring football.
Okay.
So spring football is spring season. Talking season starts after the spring football game. So we're not in the talking season yet. Though people are talking, it's just talking preseason. It's not actual talking season yet.
All right. So talking preseason, but one of the things that has popped up is is it Weissman? Am I saying that correctly? Ari Weissman talking about Lenora Sellers. And I tell you what, Tyler Head, let's go ahead and play that clip that we have of Ari Weissman talking about Lenora Sellers and where he fits into the top 10 quarterbacks, I believe, in the country, not in the SEC, but in the country.
You might think that we don't think Lenora Sellers is elite. And I wanted to set the record straight for both of us that that's not the case. Now, I'm willing to sit here and even say that it's not even remotely shocking or even surprising if Lenora Sellers turns out to have a better career. In fact, I think it's quite amusing and interesting that despite the fact that there are a bunch of really good newcomer SEC quarterbacks, a few others who are on this list, that there seems to be a direct face-to-face comparison between Lagway and Sellers, and I think it's because they're both in similar positions.
And I wish they played because South Carolina and Florida used to play every year, and they're not on the schedule.
But I think that this is a nice olive branch to people who have been displeased with our lack of hype on Lenora Sellers' game as like a reassurance of like, hey guys, like we're with you, like we know he's good, you know. And he had a lot of great moments, and I think South Carolina makes the playoff if he doesn't get injured in the game. Which game was that? Was that the
LSU
game?
The LSU
game? Oh yeah. We were at Wisconsin that day, right? I remember watching it while we were walking back on the car on my phone.
Yeah.
But yes, so all the respect in the world for him, and I think that we're both also drinking Lenora Sellers Kool-Aid. We just like the flavor of Lagway a little bit better.
Okay, that's some nerdy, heady quarterback discussion there. What do you take away from
Well, it was
that?
a top 10 discussion. They were talking about DJ Lagway, and I think DJ Lagway and Lenora's had similar trajectories last year as far as what they did for their programs, and obviously seeing how influential their play was as far as the season was concerned. So I am interested in what the national narrative around Lenoris is, and I guess DJ Lagway might have better name recognition, but yeah, if you paid attention at all last year to the South Carolina season, you saw 16 on the field. You saw great things happening, especially towards the end of the season during the winning streak.
Yeah, and they make an interesting point because it did feel like the LSU game was starting to be his breakout game. And then he gets injured. And then he did not play very well against Mississippi in his return You saw some steps taken forward against Alabama, and then all of a sudden it's like the light came on, and he really started taking care of the football. I do wonder because I still go back to the Clemson game, and I wasn't particularly thrilled with the play calling in that game. He made the plays down the stretch that won the ball game, but I wasn't particularly thrilled with how Dow Loggins was calling that game and was prepared late in the game to be on the show on Monday morning. Be like, that Dow Loggins, he got way too conservative and let him go. Well, then all of a sudden Dow Loggins, lo and behold, is going to Appalachian State. We're like, wait, Mr. Loggins. But now he's got to Lenora Sellers has got to develop with a brand new quarterbacks coach, and a new quarterbacks coach and a new offense coordinator, and I can't help but wonder how exactly that impacts him.
We'll see. We'll see what maybe his development is far along enough where he doesn't necessarily, he's at a different stage of development. He doesn't need those very basic fundamentals. So maybe Mike Shula is the guy that takes him to the next level. I think that's going to be interesting. Obviously, all of the things around him have to develop also and see where that comes. But Lenoris is going to be we don't know how good Lenoris is going to be. The season depends on him being very good. If he's not very good, the season won't be very good. And I think that's pretty simple.
Yeah. And so the question I have for you watching him, the discussion has been like, oh, was Mike Shula going to allow him to run? Are they overcoaching him to make his progressions and go through his reads? What do you see as Lenora Sellers' biggest step forward that he's got to personally make?
Taking care of the ball when he does run. And I'm not talking about interceptions. I think if you're going to have a quarterback there who's the offensive reliant on, he's going to throw interceptions because to me, that would almost be an indicator that he's making tougher throws, and he has to make those throws. We don't want him to sit back there and dink and dunk and throw 5-yard passes. So interceptions are not the problem. Fumbles will be the issue. Is he taking care of the ball in the pocket when he inevitably does get hit, or when he does take off running, does he take care of the rock?
Another part to this that we talk about is kind of how exactly, and we're going to get more into how he develops chemistry with his wide receivers, but let's also kind of talk about him now having to develop. I'm interested to see his relationship with, say, a Nick Harbor. I thought last year he was developing a relationship with Jared Brown a little bit. Jared Brown couldn't quite stay healthy, but I think that's going to be important for him too. And I know we're going to talk more about his chemistry with those wide receivers, Preston. But you talk about his development and how big that's going to be.
He's going to develop a relationship with the people who can get open.
Okay.
It's real simple. You get open, we can have a relationship. You can't get open, I can't have no relationship with you. And so with the dudes that can get open, the dudes that can make themselves available to him, that's who he will develop the relationship to. Also, the dudes who catch the ball. Nick Harbor, we say they develop relationship. No, Nick Harbor started catching the ball.
Very true.
You get the ball more often when you catch the ball. It's really, really simple. If I look at you, it's just like NCAA. Hey, this wide receiver has a 60 for hands, not throwing him the ball. It's a real simple concept. When I throw you the ball in practice and it hits your face mask, when I look at you in the game, probably not going to throw the rock to you. So the more you catch the ball, the more you get open, the better relationship we'll have.
One thing that Ari Weissman and those guys were talking about is they thought that had Lenoris not got hurt against LSU, South Carolina makes the playoff. Andy Staples talks about South Carolina's ceiling, the ceiling for the Gamecocks with Lenoris Sellers as a quarterback. Tyler, here we go. I think this is clip 5. Here is what Andy Staples has had to say about South Carolina's ceiling with Sellers as quarterback.
Yeah, I'm very excited to see this because I think Lenoris Sellers raises – it's similar to the DJ Lagway conversation. Like Lenoris Sellers, by merely existing, raises South Carolina's ceiling. He raises everyone else on the team. He makes them all better. I think DJ Lagway may have a little bit better supporting cast right now, and it's up to South Carolina's receiver group to prove me wrong on that. Like, yeah, I want Nick Harbor to become the Nick Harbor of the video game. I think we get that. We see even more from Lenoris Sellers because I think he was doing it a lot on his own last year is what it felt like. Now, they had a freshman receiver last year who was pretty good, Mazio Bennett. I think, he gets better. You get a little more out of him. I'm excited for what Lenoris Sellers can be, and I hope he can stay healthy as well because I feel like that they lose to Ole Miss and it wasn't really close, but Lenora Sellers was hurt, and I think there was a lot to do with that too. So I'm really hopeful that we get fully healthy Lagway and Sellers seasons here, because I think they could be so special.
So the other part that you have on the rundown for this is you hear a very specific comparison already for Lenora Sellers that it feels like people are going to be looking at this year. And you heard Ari Weissman say, well, they don't play Florida, but it's DJ Lagway or Lenora Sellers in the SEC this year. Isn't there some other name out there that's not being mentioned?
I mean, I guess there's a few. There's a few. Are you talking about the guy with famous uncles?
Yeah, that's the guy that I was. That was
yeah,
the
I
guy
don't remember his name, but yeah.
I mean, it's interesting that nobody said, "Well, throw Arch Manning." It's like Lagway and Sellers.
Yeah, I think that's an interesting conversation. We haven't seen Arch. Well, we did see Arch, and he got out there, and the fire was a little hot for him in the games when they put him in there. So yeah, I guess he's in the conversation, but we haven't seen him do it or carry a squad.
803-404-6100. Again, live from ProSwing this morning as we hang out. And again, reminder, you can stop by and hang out with us today and find out how you can win tickets to Sunday's final round at the Masters. Just either come by ProSwing, 4708 Forest Drive, or call 803-528-1817, and they will tell you how you can win tickets to go to the final round. Once you find that out, we will announce a winner coming up tomorrow at 5:30 with Jay and Elijah. So call or stop by 803-528-1817, or you can stop by 4708 Forest Drive. We need a crowd in here at 7:40. I don't know if I can pull this off here for standing in a safe distance, if you will, from Preston Thorne for the opening shot. Does it need to be a safe distance, or do we need to put you in like a middle bay and we're all off to a side?
Yeah, that's very possible. That's very possible.
All right. Preston's going to hit an opening tee shot at 7:40 this morning, and you can actually go to our live stream, and we'll have that for you as well. If you want to go to our live stream, go to the Game TV radio. We'll roll along. We'll continue talking a little Lenora Sellers and chemistry with wide receivers. You heard Andy Staples talk a little bit about that. We'll talk about those wide receivers because I got something on the live stream from Craig, and we probably have to revisit that. It appears there's a misconception due to a video game about Nick Harper. We might have to get in. We'll talk about those wide receivers a little bit as we roll along this morning. You're listening to Preston Thorne, Bill Gunner, producer Tyler Head back in studio for just a little bit. We'll get you up and going. It is the early game. Bill Gunner for Corley Pool Solutions, where it is time. Today is the day you have got to line up that swimming pool maintenance. You can't wait till tomorrow. You don't need to wait till next week. It starts today because you know what? Next week we're going to start getting in the 80s and you're going to be ready to use that swimming pool. But if you haven't contacted Tracy Corley and Corley Pool Solutions, you're already behind the 8 ball. Don't allow that to happen. Call them today. 803-445-8109. Now, I know what you're thinking. I can just maintain the pool myself. It is more difficult than you realize, and it is more affordable for you to contact Corley Pool Solutions than for you to try and maintain it yourself. With flat rate pricing, including all of the chemicals, Corley Pool Solutions will beat any prices out there that you have to use to maintain your pool. So give Corley Pool Solutions a call today. 803-445-8109. Tell them Bill Gunner sent you.
And taking another look at your traffic and weather from the Wetzel's Automotive Traffic Center for your ride in on this Thursday morning. That accident's been cleared at 77 southbound out near exit number 5. Only thing I'm showing as of right now is an accident at Piney Grove Road at 126. Other than that, everything looking relatively okay. Still sitting at about 47 degrees here in downtown Columbia. High today is going to get up to 72 with a little bit of rain a little bit later on in the day, but that clears out for the rest of the weekend. High tomorrow 68, 66 on Saturday, and 70 on Sunday with plenty of sunshine. That's traffic and weather on the early game.
6:33 on your Thursday morning. Some would refer to it as Masters Thursday, and we get you up and get you going here live from ProSwing. Do want to remind you we do have baseball tonight as well, so you want to check that out. 6:45 pregame, 7 o'clock first pitch. That will be 7:45 tomorrow night is 6:45 pregame, 7:45 pregame, 8 o'clock first pitch tonight. That'll be from Texas A&M. We'll talk more about that coming up later on the show, but we do have baseball tonight. So a day of golf, a night of baseball. The game will also be televised on ESPNU there if you want to get into that, but we'll talk more baseball coming up. Right now, talking South Carolina football, Lenora Sellers, and some comparisons, and also some wide receivers. Preston, in the previous segment, you mentioned Nick Harbor dropping passes. Craig on our live stream. Again, you can always go to our live stream, go to YouTube. YouTube.com, search the game TV radio. He said Nick didn't drop a pass last year. What are you talking about?
Okay, that's correct. Appreciate you listening, Craig. However, the year prior to that, his freshman year, he struggled mightily with catching the ball, and he struggled with even seeing the ball. And he's corrected that by doing something very simple. You would think he got contacts, and now he can see the ball. And some of the drops that was coming from wasn't from his lack of hand-eye coordination; it was from his lack of eyesight. And so he's gotten contacts, and he's really improved on that. So yes, you're right. He did improve on that last year when Lenoris was throwing on the ball, and he's going to look to get even better at that this year. So that makes a lot of sense. So if you can see the ball, you can catch the ball. However, early in his career, his freshman year, he did struggle with catching and seeing the ball. So he has improved on that, and you hope to see his continuous improvement on that.
It's funny. You think there was the eye doctor, the team eye doctor between Lenoris and Nick Harbor. That guy gets a raise.
I mean, yeah. Well,
the nutritionist always talking about the team eyesight doctor.
Yeah. Well, maybe the team psychologist, whoever say, "Hey, man, it's gonna be okay if you put those contacts in. It's all right. You can take those." If you remember when Nick signed, he had very strong performance enhancing bifocals on, right?
Okay.
So we've known this, and then sometimes you just got to get over the stigma of like, oh man, I can't see. And so once he's gotten over that, he's been able to catch the ball a lot better, and hopefully that improves, especially with him focusing 100% on football now.
803-404-6100. So we're talking about some of those wide receivers though, and that is one of, so to me, that's storyline number 2 for next Friday. And again, I'll be down at the Heritage, so I'm taking in the Heritage on Friday, getting in a quick trip down there before Easter and my son's birthday. But I tell you what, real quick before we get into extra, let's go to the phone lines. Joe wants to weigh in. Joe, how you doing this morning? What's on your mind? Tom, is Joe still on the line? Okay, let's go to Tom. Sorry, on remote. Tom, how you doing this morning? What's on your mind?
I'm doing good. This is an observation of Nick Harbor. Maybe it's a criticism. But when I saw the video of him running in the track meets, for the first 50 yards, he's running with the pack. And then it's after that long stride kind of takes over the race. But it seems to me on a football field, as a wide receiver, it's not 100 yards how fast you run. it's like how fast you can run the first 10, 20, or 30. And just watching him on a track meet, he doesn't have speed, the elite world class speed, until he gets past 50 yards. So that's what I see. I'm not being critical, and he did develop, but I don't think his speed can be as big of an asset on a football field as it can on a track meet. That's just my observation when I see him in the track meets.
All right, Tom. Well, let's turn to our football expert, a guy who understands that.
Yeah, that's why you want to have a bunch, and that is an interesting observation. But there's this guy, and I'm not making a comparison. This dude named Randy Moss who made a career of running straight. Randy, go. Michael Irvin, go. Right. So some guys are able to make careers out of just running straight down the field and running by everybody. He's probably not going to be running your 5-yard digs and all your intricate routes that maybe some of your slot guys would do. But there is a value to having somebody who's a threat and can take the proverbial top off of a defense. So I think that's a very astute observation. But I would imagine Nick doesn't run a lot of those routes in the route tree. The 5-yard bends, the 3-yard outs. That's not what he's gonna be. That's not gonna be his particular value proposition. His deal is, hey Nick, go run past everybody, and we'll throw it high and we'll throw it far, and then you just go get it.
Well, it felt to me, and I could be wrong on this. You can tell me no, but it felt to me one of the things that they were doing last year was 5 or 7 yard hitch routes, hoping that with his size, if he called it, that he could then he's kind of in a one-on-one tackle situation, and with his size, he could then break it and maybe turn up field.
Yeah, I don't like that.
You don't?
Nah. Throw it deep.
Throw it deep.
Why don't
do like you did against Alabama and just chunk it up, let it go down there and get it.
Yes. That's don't put the Lamborghini on Forest Drive.
Okay.
Put it on the interstate.
Okay.
Hey, you got the Lamborghini? Let's see if you can get from Forest Drive to the exit on 77. Put it on the interstate now and see how fast it can go.
Now, the other part of that is the other wide receivers, and this is where I was going. Thank you for the phone call, Tom. But if you had me doing kind of a depth chart, a good depth chart.
No, they don't have them.
The early game has them.
Oh,
By the way, did you see the breakdown of people yesterday trying to decipher who Shane was yelling at?
Oh, that was good. Okay. I did see J.C. Sherman say, "Not me."
Yeah.
He put his finger on his nose. Like, not me, not it.
But to go back to this point, I think if you're doing a depth chart of what is interesting in the spring game, backup quarterback's the most interesting because those are always the best players on the team, right? When the quarterback falters, it's the backup guy that's always the favorite, the fan favorite. Number 2 is the wide receivers. How do they look? Jordan Gidron, Lex Cyrus, Brian Rowe, Malik Clark. How does Mazeo Bennett look coming back? What is the development of Nick Harbor? Really interesting questions. I was a huge fan. I am a huge fan of Vandravius Jacobs, who couldn't quite stay healthy last year. This room looks entirely different, I think, now than it did at this point last year.
Oh, totally. We had all question marks last year.
And we were yelling at Antoine Wells last year for leaving.
That's true. Yeah. And that soon became
I think we were being trolled too, if I remember.
Soon became an afterthought last year. Yeah, the room looks totally different. It's been transformed through recruiting, and somebody's gonna have to rise to the top again. Depth is fine, but who's gonna be the person that goes and makes a play? And I think they have a couple of candidates that we'll see as the season rolls along who ends up becoming that guy.
I just wonder, as I'm talking out loud here, I just can't help but wonder if what they decide to do in that spring game is take some deep shots to see if some of those guys can make some plays down the field.
I agree.
If you hold, I mean, again, I think that was one of the most shocking things last year when we went to watch the spring game, that you're like, boy, they didn't throw anything deep. I mean, they didn't even try. This is awful. And do you take a few deep shots this year to just see if some guys can make some plays down the field?
Yeah. Also, you take some deep shots just to see if they can cover. I mean, if we're working together, like let's take the top off a little bit. It does not count. All right. Let's do something at least interesting.
803-404-6100 if you want to weigh in this morning. Again, we are live from ProSwing, 4708 Forest Drive here as we are opening up Masters Thursday. I can peek out the window and see the sun starting to rise. It's going to be a beautiful day today. We should be a lot of fun. So we will continue to go through some depth charts, get into chemistry with a new center, talk all these things. We're talking a little football this morning. You're listening to Bill Gunner, Preston Thorne, Tyler Head back in studio. It is the early game. Bill Gunner for AAA Heating and Air. As we get you ready for summertime, you need to make sure your heating and air system is working properly. And that means maybe having to make a few repairs. And if you're a little budget crunched right now, you're a little worried about money, guess what? AAA Heating and Air is there to help you. It's a limited time offer. You got to take advantage of it. But right now, you can get up to 12-month payment plans on repairs with no credit check. You heard that right. 12-month payment plans with no credit check required. All you need is to be a homeowner with a valid bank account. This is your chance to stay comfortable without breaking the bank. So call AAA Heating and Air today, 803-677-1500. That's exactly what I did about 2 years ago. I had a brand new heating and air unit put in. But if you need repairs, today is the day. Call AAA Heating and Air, 803-677-1500. Tell them Bill Gunner sent you. .647 on your Thursday morning. Going to be just a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful Masters Thursday morning. So get up and get going. Stay positive this morning. We're one day away from the weekend. Preston, we are, if you can get through today, you can get through tomorrow. Many people, teachers included. I know in Lexington School District 1, it's spring break week.
Whew. And due to the calendar, the spring break is later this year. So that means when the spring break is later, that means the rest of the year is shorter. And though it's tough to get there, if you make it there, there's only a few weeks left. So congratulations.
Just a few weeks left. Let's get back out to the phone lines. Joe is back on the line. Joe, how you doing this morning? What's on your mind?
Hey, good morning, fellas. So look, I'm gonna go ahead and make a bold statement.
Okay.
South Carolina game.
We like those.
Game. Yeah. So we will have 2,000-yard receivers next year. It's going down like that, man. So I like the way that Mike Fury has developed the receivers. Harper got better because of him. Later on in the season, he started to look like a receiver. Mike Fury has brought in 4 or 5 top receivers from that state. He may have brought a few from Georgia, I think. But they're top receivers. I mean, they were borderline 4 or 5-star receivers, high grade 4-star. And so it brings that competition on campus that makes everybody that much better. Shane is great at developing players, man. So I look forward to having 2,000-yard receivers here because Lenore Sellers is that good. Go Gamecocks, man. Let's go.
Joe sounds like he's fired up. He sounds like he's ready to go. I like it.
What's interesting about that real quick is that means that it feels like a more pass-heavy offense. Is it a more pass-heavy offense?
Well, I think if you looked on paper, I would say it would have to be based on what you have coming back. We don't know the performance. We don't know what the running back room will turn into, but you don't look back there and see Rocket Sanders. Obviously, they have guys that are there. They have the senior citizens and Rasul and Oscar
and Hadaway. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Oscar, another name, another name on the senior citizen list. But he's the third, so that makes sense. But yeah, if you was just looking on paper, the strength of the team as far as weapons seems to be in the wide receiver room.
803-404-6100. Let's get back out to the phone lines. I apologize, Tyler. I believe you said it was Mike. Mike wants to weigh in. Hey, Mike, how you doing this morning? What's on your mind?
Yeah, hey, first of all, I want to thank you guys. I live in Alaska now, but Gunner and Thorne are like a great tandem, man. I love you guys, man. Thank you for what you do, because, I mean, it helps me get through my day, and I'm 4 hours behind you guys. I appreciate everything you guys do.
Appreciate that,
Thank
Mike.
you, man. That means a lot, really, seriously.
Like I said, man, you guys are solid, man. I grew up in Columbia, but I've been gone for years. But I just want to just kind of chime in on something that maybe a little off subject, but I just don't like really to hate on Juice Wells, man, because this man grew up in Richmond, Virginia. He's not even from Columbia. I don't know why people are so angry about what he did. He just made a business decision. You know what I'm saying? So it's just, why are people so mad at him? It's like, you know, it's just, hey, he did what he felt was the right decision. And maybe it didn't work out, but I don't understand why a lot of locals just seem to hate this guy for what he did. I just want you guys to chime in on that, please.
Yeah, I appreciate the phone call, Mike, and appreciate the kind words. I think it comes down to he could have come back and played. And I don't mean last season. I mean he could have come back for a 5-7 team and played. I think there are people that felt like he led somebody on.
Yeah, and that's what I was gonna add on to that. I think the idea is that if he would have done business on the up and up and been straightforward, I think people might have been a little bit more. They may not have liked it, but they would have understood it. But I think the local ire you hear is that he wasn't on the up and up about his business. And so if it was a straight up business decision and all agreements were held, then I think that might have been held. But from my understanding, and it seems like the general consensus is that he was not on the up and up about his particular business.
Nah, yeah. I mean, that's the big thing about that is number one, for him to come out and say, hey, I'm coming back. And then, and at first there was excitement of, oh, well, he means he's coming back to South Carolina. And then also to basically, and he left it open-ended. He didn't say he was coming back to South Carolina, but it's almost like he toyed with South Carolina. And then, of course, there are the reports that he could have come back sometime around the Florida game in 2023, I believe. And if he done that, maybe South Carolina season's a little bit different. They go to a bowl, who knows? So, yeah, I think it's kind of the way he played out the last few months of his season. And then it probably doesn't help that he goes on a podcast and basically says, yeah, I wanted to go play for a quarterback that's experienced and not that dude over there.
Yeah, but I do think there's a line. Like to me, that's fine. That's fan stuff. Listen, you want to go play somewhere else with a different quarterback. He clearly did not know Lenore Sellers was going to be what Lenore Sellers turned into, leaving Spencer Rattler. That's totally all right with me. And me personally, I'm totally fine with him leaving. It was just from my understanding is that he was not on the up and up about business. So if we're doing business, let's do business as business is done. And I don't think that's what he did.
803-404-6100. Again, if you want to weigh in, appreciate the phone call.
Appreciate it, man. Appreciate the words.
So you got Bill Belichick mic'd up at spring practice?
Yeah, Tyler, let's hear this because I'm really interested to see what Bill Belichick sounds like coaching college kids.
One-on-one. Mondo, we got to get the gloves on these guys. Just holding on every play, usually twice. Hey, good route. That's the right idea. It's close. Good job on the split safeties. Yeah. We hit them in no huddle. We hit them here. At least we're throwing the ball to the right place. Second down. We're live. Tackle in front. Tackle in front. This is live. It's live. Tackle in front. Stay off the quarterback.
Well, you don't want me to hit him from the side, do you?
No, just we know you got him. Get on the sideline. Tag off. Tag off. Stay off the quarterback. Tag off on the runners. This is not live. This is not live, but we're competing here.
Gotta get the gloves on them. Holding every play, but sometimes twice. Did you ever feel that way? You're like, hey, man, put the gloves on these linemen. They're holding me.
I've seen it done. I've seen some interesting coaching techniques done. But yeah, that is whenever DBs like to get a little handsy, you put the gloves on them to make sure they can't grab. They can still do things with that. Again, it's just interesting to hear. I feel like this is getting glossed over. There was a big splash about it. Obviously, the year will come along. We'll see how it works. But Chapel Bill, I'm very curious to see how this works out.
Yeah, we'll continue to monitor that up there and how it rolls along. So, yeah, 803-404-6100. Hour number 2 on the way. Plenty to discuss live from ProSwing here on Forest Drive. It is the early game. Bill Gunner for the mortgage guru, Jacob Crowder, and First Palmetto Bank. Here we are, almost, good Lord, almost into the middle of April. And you're probably starting to think about the back half of the year, things such as refinancing your home. Maybe you've been out there looking for that brand new home and you found it, but now you're trying to figure out what the interest rates are going to be, how much the down payment has to be, how much money you've got to have saved up. And that's where Jacob Crowder and First Palmetto Bank come into play. You need to give them a phone call today and discuss with them what those options are. 803-719-1005. That's 803-719-1005. There's no better way than to start the home buying process by knowing how much money you have available to spend, what the interest rates are, and what the monthly mortgage payment is going to be. So again, make that phone call today. 803-719-1005. Call Jacob Crowder, the mortgage guru with First Palmetto Bank today. Tell him Bill Gunner sent you.
Uh-oh.
And let's take another look at your traffic and weather for your ride in on this Thursday morning from the Wetzel's Automotive Traffic Center. Looking out there on the roadways, do have a few things going on. Start off a little bit north of town here with a accident at Piney Grove Road and 126. Be careful as you're making your way through that area. Other than that, as of right now, everything looking relatively okay. Again, still sitting at about 50 degrees here in downtown Columbia. Today we'll get up to 72 with some rain, but plenty of sunshine going through the weekend as the highs get into the upper 60s and touch 70 on Sunday. So traffic and weather on the early game.
7 a.m. as we are just 40 minutes away from tea time over in Augusta. Bill Gunner, Preston Thorne, getting you up and getting you going live from ProSwing over here on 4708 Forest Drive, where you need to come by and hang out, maybe watch a little Masters today, maybe even play a little golf while you're watching Masters. Over 260 courses on their system that you can play. Some of the most advanced platforms, golfing platforms here that you can use also. If you haven't checked it out, you definitely need to stop by today. 4708 Forest Drive. They got plenty of TVs in here, Preston. We are going to have you on our YouTube channel here in roughly about 39 minutes, hitting the opening master shot.
Got to start warming up.
Got to start getting geared up for that. So we will have that for you. If you want to get somewhere and watch that, make sure you go to youtube.com and search the Game TV Radio. But come on by today. Also, you can find out how you can win tickets to Sunday at the Masters. That's right. ProSwing is giving away tickets to Sunday at the Masters. Come on by, 4708 Forest Drive, or call 803-528-1817. Again, that's 803-528-1817, and find out how you can win tickets to go to the final round of the Masters on Sunday. It sounds like a great package. You need to check it out. So either come by 4708 Forest Drive today or call 803-528-1817, and you can find out how you can get yourself a chance to win tickets to the Masters final round on Sunday. We will actually announce the winner tomorrow afternoon at 5:30. Jay and Elijah will handle that. So make sure you do that. But again, if you want to come by and just hang out, check out the facility, check out these incredible platforms they have, check out any of the 260 courses they have on their system, it is well worth it. And of course, if you come this morning, and I encourage you to, and bring the kids, as a matter of fact, bring the kids for Preston Thorne's opening Masters tee shot. Would like a little bit of a crowd here at 7:40 a.m. to cheer him on as he will lead the way for the Masters.
Don't heckle me or I'll take your phone.
Yeah. He is from the Roy McIlroy school of heckling.
I'll take your phone and I'll never return it.
So, but come on by and hang out with us. We had a lot of fun yesterday, having a blast already this morning, and certainly want to see you come and hang out with us. Again, 7:40 a.m. this morning, Preston Thorne gets up and gets going over here on one of the bays, and we'll hit the opening shot. Sunday afternoon, Preston, what's the fight to keep the nap off and watch? Or is that a napping event you wake up for about the final 4 holes?
Oh, that's I always hear people talk about the Masters nap, and I'm very curious about that. Now, when you go into the Masters nap, is a couple things. Is it planned or does it happen?
I think it's 50-50.
Okay.
Because the saying is the Masters does not start till the back 9 on Sunday. So why I say that is because, a lot of people will be like, all right, I'm getting this nap in on the front 9, get up, do my church stuff, get the honey-do list, maybe brunch, whatever, get it done, settle into the couch about 2 o'clock, about the time the leaders are about to tee off. Maybe an hour and a half nap, wake up. If you feel refreshed or you feel ready to go, it's 3:30, almost close to 4, and the leaders are closing in on the back 9 for when the supposed Masters is then starting.
So you're not trying to nap because you're putting yourself on the couch.
Yeah.
You're not playing good defense against the nap.
Yeah, you're not playing any defense.
Okay, all right. Not playing any defense.
If they elect to just run the ball directly down your throat,
all right. Okay, I get that. Now, when you wake up, do you wake up because a shot is made and you hear the roar from the gallery, or do you set a timer because you don't want to miss the end of it, right?
No, you don't want to miss the end.
Okay, so how do you prevent that?
Well, that's later in the afternoon, boy. If you're napping at 5:30 or 6 or something, you're gonna have a long night of sleep ahead of you.
Right.
That's more of you don't allow that to happen.
Okay.
So that is what it is. But yes, no, the nap comes early.
Okay.
Maybe 1:30. I mean, if you want to jump into the nap a little earlier, like 1:30, about I think the final tee time on Sunday is 2:25, 2:24, something like that. So if you want to jump into the nap a little early and wake up and and then start really prepping or doing anything that you needed to do, prepping some food for the back nine. I think that's how you kind of battle it.
Okay, much like the NCAA tournament, what's the best part of the Masters? The beginning, the opening round, or the ending?
Thursday and Sunday.
Thursday and Sunday.
Today's fun. Today's excitement. Everybody's in contention right now.
Kind of like the tournament.
Scotty Scheffler has not taken advantage. Roy McIlroy has not had a mental breakdown right now. Somebody hasn't done anything dumb and knocked 3 balls in Rays Creek. Right now, everybody is a winner. Everybody is a winner right now.
That also includes people with financial stakes in the tournament.
It's very true. Yes, everybody. We're 34 minutes away from probably everybody starting to feel a little different about their chances. It's kind of like the guy showing up to the tee box right now. He's on the practice. He's like, I got this. And then when the first tee time hits and he's standing over the ball and he's looking out down the fairway, he's like, I don't have this at all. I don't have this at all.
That makes total sense. Yeah, you definitely, the chances decrease as the time goes along, but the stakes increase, and that's what makes it fun. So my question is this: fill in the blank. If Roy McIlroy loses, it'll be because of.
Well, that's twofold. It'll be because Scotty Scheffler just is the most dominant golfer in the world, in my opinion. And Scheffler just flat out just dominates. The second part of that is if Roy McIlroy loses, it's because Roy McIlroy does something dumb where he misses 4 foot putts at critical times, knocks a ball into the pond, or does so. He has a mental breakdown somewhere along the line, and it could be today. Roy McIlroy is not afraid to remove himself politely from a tournament very quickly on a Thursday. He's not afraid to. But I'll be interested to kind of see how he handles it, because last year at this time, it felt like the PGA had turned his back on Rory. We were dealing with maybe the PGA and LIV. We're going to merge this thing and figure out how to work. I think Roy was. You had a guy, maybe we've seen this in life, a guy that was so loyal and so dedicated to the cause, and then the cause is like, yeah, we appreciate all you did and how you spoke up for us, but we're gonna see what this group's like over here. Mm-hmm. And McIlroy turned down who knows how much money, who knows really how much money to stick with the PGA and to be the voice, the fight, the reason for sticking. And you felt like when John Rahm left, Roy McIlroy was kind of looking around like, anybody else got my back on this? And the PGA was like, yeah, we do. And then about 10 months later, we're like, no, we don't.
Yeah, and it feels like, and I know the conversation has died down in the national discourse, but it feels like through all the infighting, neither organization got stronger. LIV nor PGA actually benefited from this whole thing that's happening. It feels like they're going to find themselves drifting towards each other.
I think that is where it's heading. Yesterday, the Masters kind of announcing that they will not be adding any special pathways for LIV golfers. So Fred Ridley yesterday saying that they will continue to invite international golfers to the Masters with special invitations, but the tournament doesn't plan to add special pathways for LIV for the LIV Golf League players that have 2 other major champions. Like it says, like 2 other major championships have done this year. Ridley was talking to reporters and says he will continue to encourage the PGA and the LIV Golf League to come to some sort of agreement to unify the sport, but that the world's best golfers do need to play together. But Masters not going out of its way to really help LIV golf unless you've won John Rahm, Brooks Koepka, unless you put yourself Bryson DeChambeau, Phil Mickelson, you get the point, Sergio Garcia, unless you've done something that automatically keeps you in qualification for a Masters invite.
And so when he's saying encourage, he's basically saying, LIV players, if you want to play in this thing, you need to figure out a way to.
Yeah, you are going to need to if you haven't already got it. And look, and the Masters is its own separate entity, and anybody that's been around or knows will tell you they're very proud of that. That's why the people that go are patrons. That's why the sandwiches are $1.50 and $3. Beverages are pretty cheap. Not cheap to get in, mind you, but that's why it feels like if you sneeze while a golfer's in his backswing, 2 people in white uniforms instantly grab you by the elbows and toss you out onto George Washington Drive or whatever the drive is right out there. That's the one thing. I said it. I'll be at the Heritage next week. The Heritage, if you're not talking in somebody's backswing, they're like, "Sir, are you not having a good time? That guy was swinging. You should be laughing and giggling right now in his backswing." That's changed a little bit with the Heritage becoming a signature event, but the Heritage is still a wild event. Whereas the Masters, you feel like you got to wear your collared shirt, you got to look prim and proper, and you got to be cognizant of the rules and what exactly you're doing.
I like that. I mean, I like the idea of having of tradition and making something into an event. Everything doesn't have to be, casual Fridays. I think it's cool.
You know what it reminds me of? Did you ever have, I don't know how many people had this relationship very early on in life, like in your early 20s, you meet maybe that special someone and you're kind of just out of college and they get that idea like, I want to have a dinner party with our friends, but I don't want them coming over with backwards baseball caps and t-shirts hanging out. Let's do it where we dress up and we're going to have we're not just going to throw steaks on the grill. We're going to make a fancy meal. Did you ever?
I think it's
You know what
awesome.
I'm saying?
I don't think it should have gone anywhere. I think it's great.
Yeah, that's kind of what the Masters is. The Masters is that person every year. It's like, listen, I see what you're doing out there in Phoenix, and you're throwing beer everywhere, and you're chanting on the 17th hole. I see what you're doing at the Heritage with the boats and the party outside. I see what you're doing at other tournaments. We're going to throw a nice dinner party. You're going to look nice. You're not going to come here with sleeveless basketball jerseys on.
You're about to get me started on another thing.
You're not coming here. If you come here, you're not wearing your backwards hat. If you come here, you're not wearing. They got on Jason Day about his attire for last year. Like, Jason Day, we're going to need you to tone down your outfits. Got a little bit too much. Got a little bit too much viral recognition last year.
Yeah, they got on him, and I think they was right. I think there was something. To that. Yeah, you was on the way to getting me sparked on in another thing. So let's move forward.
803-404-6100 is
all I'm saying is if I got to spend enough money in this restaurant, let's dress like it.
Let's look like it.
That's all I'm saying. If my check looks like this when I get it, I don't want you over there looking like that.
Right.
Let's all wear. Let's act like adults.
I'm fine with that.
That's all I'm saying.
Because again, the Masters is its own entity. It's incredible. It's a look. If you've never been, you got to go. I would tell you got to go, and it's a fun event. But it is. If you go down there, you're like, ooh, okay, don't like. And then you go to the Heritage, and it's an entirely different event. It is an entirely different
time
event.
and place.
Yeah, and so but that's honestly why before the Heritage became a signature event, golfers loved going there from the Masters because it's like, well, if I make the cut, I make the cut. If I miss the cut, I can go hang on the beach with the family for 2 days. It's relaxation. You're cutting up with people. The Heritage, now that it's a signature event, is a little bit different. It's a little more serious. But yeah, there's people who love going there because it's such a laid-back environment, and they're two entirely different events. 803-404-6100. Little Masters talk. We'll come back, get into some Braves talk, keep the countdown going as we get Preston Thorne ready. What was the clubs that we said he could hit? Preston, I think, freaked out. The new TaylorMade QI35.
Is that the same as the torpedo bat? Is that the torpedo bat of golf clubs?
It goes further.
All right.
So you after Preston puts one off the hood of the club here and dents the top, you could own a specially hit Preston Thorne club, a QI35 driver here in just a little while. We'll see if after I say that, Preston still gets to hit that club. But that's coming up at 7:40 this morning. And if you want to, you also be able to check it out on our live stream. Go to youtube.com, search the Game TV Radio. We'll come back. We'll get into some Braves discussion this morning. Tee time for the Masters, only about 26 minutes away as we sit here at 7:14 on your Thursday morning. Hope you're doing well. You're up and at 'em. You are listening to the early game.
Preston here for our friends at Absolute Glass, the premier glass company of the Midlands, offering auto, home, and business glass repair. If your glass is damaged, shattered, cracked, or broken, they can handle the job. Cracked windshield, no problem. They'll come out to your location and replace it for you, usually for free and they work directly with your insurance to take away the headache. You do not have to worry about any of that. The good folks at Absolute Glass will take care of all of it for you. Now, if you're at home and you're looking to increase the value of your home, you could do that with new windows and mirrors. And Absolute Glass will take care of that for you too. Windows, mirrors, shower enclosures. I say it all the time. If you can see through it, Ray and Marianne at Absolute Glass can do it. So check them out online at absoluteglassinc.com. That's online at absoluteglassinc.com.
Time for another look at your traffic and weather from the Wetzel's Automotive Traffic Center for your ride along in on this Thursday morning. Taking a look around, still relatively okay around the city for the most part. Got the accident at Piney Grove Road and 126. But other than that, everything looking relatively okay. Actually, a new one popped up here. That's going to be at North Pines Road and Wilson Boulevards. Be careful as you're making your way through that area as well. Still sitting here in downtown Columbia, right at about 47 degrees. High today is going to get up to 72 with some rain before we get into a nice sunshiny weekend with highs in the 60s and 70s. So look for traffic and weather here on the early game.
I'll call for it real quick. 7:20 a.m. as we get you up and get you going. Roughly about 10 minutes. What I'm reading is at 7:30. 7:30, we've got the ceremonial tee shots. Jack Nicklaus, Gary Player, Tom Watson. Must be a misprint. No Preston Thorne on there. Can't figure out.
I do feel like those names made me tingly inside. Though, when you hear some of those guys. I saw a picture of Jack Nicklaus yesterday. I thought it was AI. I don't know if anybody's seen this, but he was in his wearing his green jacket. He had a cigarette dangling from his hand. He had Ray-Bans on, and it was the coolest picture that I think I've ever seen. Have you seen this picture
Of Nicklaus
Yes.
with the cigarette in hand?
Yes.
Yeah,
Oh,
I saw that. I think it was 67.
What a
1967.
dreamboat. Oh, my God. Look at that guy. That guy's going to be one of the greatest ever, obviously. If you take a picture like that, you are destined to be one of the greatest ever.
Is that what's the famous Joe Namath? Is it him in the mink coat or him by the pool?
Yes,
something?
it's a very similar. It's very similar in aesthetic to that. Like, man, this dude, perfectly blonde, coiffed hair, beautiful sunglasses, cigarette dangling. It's a different time.
803-404-6100 if you want to weigh in. We'll get back to some Masters discussion, but it's time for a little bit of chop talk. Tyler, hit us with the intro.
Chop talk.
Hammered, left field, gone! Ronald Acuna, another milestone in a truly historic season.
On the Game Network.
Yeah, well, unfortunately, no Ronald Acuna right now, and no Spencer Strider right now, and not many wins right now.
Well, not many is being very kind.
Very kind. 2-9 to start the season. Braves last night fall 4-3 to the Phillies. This is after a 7-5 victory, which I thought maybe the Braves had turned it around just a tad. Maybe, look, 7 runs for them is an absolute offensive explosion based on how things had been going. But right now, they're struggling. And when we did Chop Talk last week, Preston Thorne, Braves were hitting 151 as a team. Nobody on the team was doing much of anything in terms of batting. And right now, they've improved. They're 215. I guess you couldn't.
Above the Mendoza line.
I guess
okay.
you couldn't have kept it below 200 for long. At some point, you had to get it up there a little bit.
Yeah, they have improved, but they're still not hitting very well. You don't want to be 6 games back out of first place this early in the season, with the potential to fall directly 7 games back, because you might lose to the Phillies, who are 6 games ahead of you right now. You gained a game, but you lost the game.
Just some stats from this. Sean Murphy coming back as help. He's actually hitting the ball fairly well right now. 3 for 7 in his first 7 at bats. He's got a home run, 4 RBIs. He's batting .429, so he's back. He got back on. What's the day? Today's Thursday. He got back on Tuesday night, and he's hitting it well. Let me give you this stat line, because this is just wild. All right, Marcell Ozuna's got 33 at bats. He's batting .273. He's got 15 walks.
Yeah.
He's got 13 strikeouts.
Yeah.
And he's got 9 hits. I mean, my man is just like, that's a crazy, like, he either gets a hit, he strikes out, or he walks. He doesn't ground into anything. He doesn't hit pop-ups. That's none of what he does.
The walk statistic is very interesting to me, because Marcell, we need you to swing. I know you're looking for your pitch. I know you want the perfect ball, but we don't pay you for that. You're not a threat on the base paths, so we don't need you for that. We need you to swing the bat. So while that's good, and his on base percentage is pretty high, I'm sure, we need you to maybe get a little bit more liberal with the swings that you take.
The guys that you need to be hitting right now are not. Austin Riley has played in all 11 games, 45 at bats. That is tied for tops on the team. He is not doing his job. Just 9 hits and batting .200, even with 17 strikeouts. Austin Riley, this is part of the problem. And Ozzie Albies, another guy you need hitting. Again, he's played in all 11 games. He's tied with Riley for the most at bats with 45. He only has 9 hits. Now he only has 6 strikeouts, but he's batting .200. Those are the 2 guys in particular you look at and you're like, hey, man, you're letting us down. Matt Olson's trying to let them down. He's only batting .211. He's got 38 at bats with just 8 hits. And Michael Harris has got 40 at bats with 9 hits and is batting .225. Preston.
Bill, that's the bad news, but there is good news.
Okay.
Every week during Chop Talk, we will try and use one of these new baseball metrics. And for today, Bill, we have balls barreled. Do you know what that means? Do you have any idea?
It means those new torpedo bats are paying off.
Okay, so a barreling of a ball means that you have the perfect exit velocity and launch angle. And with that being said, Bill, though Matt Olson is hitting what? What's Matt Olson hitting?
Oh, let me get 211.
Though he's hitting 211, he does have a 14 in balls barreled, which puts him at the top of the team. Puts him pretty high. So he's barreling a lot of balls. Also, Austin Riley, what's he hitting?
Austin Riley is hitting a whopping 200.
But he has 11.6% on balls barreled. So he is barreling a lot of balls. And what that might mean is that if he continues to barrel those balls, Bill, maybe some of those balls will start to fall. So in theory, what it means is that they are taking good swings, they are making solid contact, and barreling is happening. For those not familiar, barreling is the combination of exit velocity and launch angle. For reference, Aaron Judge, 19.6 barreling. So Matt Olson's at 14. So he's not that far behind the best hitter in the game. So you can take that for what it's worth, Bill.
So I take this to mean that the other teams are putting more than 9 guys out on the field.
You might think that. You might think that because one of the reasons I was reading the article, and they were saying the new catcher Drake Baldwin does not have a particularly good batting average, but he is barreling a lot of balls, and that is the reason why they've kept him up there, because they feel like if you barrel a lot of balls, it means you're getting good swings on them, and things will start to happen for you eventually. So today's metric is barreling. For those of you like me who are just used to batting average, maybe runners in scoring position, we have a new metric today, and that is barreling, which again is the combination of exit velocity and launch angle. I guess next week we'll have to figure out what exit velocity is.
Oh, we'll work on that. Speaking of one of the guys who can barrel a ball that needs to get back, Ronald Acuna Jr. Earlier this week, it was reported he's heading to Los Angeles soon to get final clearances from doctors to ramp up his running and eventually start a minor league rehab assignment. According to 92.9 The Game's Grant McNally, there's no firm timetable for when Acuna might make his 2025 season debut. The team is anticipating an early to mid-May return, barring a setback. Acuna has been taking batting practice and doing some baseball activities for a while, but he'll need to ramp up his running program and be cleared to play defense before he can start a rehab assignment. The Braves want the former MVP to be full go when he's activated from the injured list, so they are not going to rush anything for a player coming off his second torn ACL.
Yeah, and if you hear him saying that he needs to be cleared to play defense, it doesn't sound like that person's coming back anytime soon. I feel like that's a ways off. If you can't do the basic functions of a team, there's no need to rush it. Take it slow, take it easy. Let's see if we're still available after the All-Star break.
There is a little bit of chop talk.
Barreling, Bill.
Barreling the ball. There's your statistic for the day. We will come back. They are warming it up there in Augusta National. There's a nice picture of Tom Watson there. It is Tom Watson, right? Okay, make sure I've got my guys right. So much information. yeah. No Tiger Woods this week, if you were expecting, despite what he may have put on social media. No Tiger Woods. We'll let Preston rant about that. We'll give you some updates. Preston Thorne's opening tee shot set to take place. A lot to do here, live from ProSwing. Hope you're up and at 'em this morning. You're listening to the early game. Bill Gunner from Mid-State Roofing, where for nearly 30 years, Mid-State Roofing has been the leader in the roofing and waterproofing industry. And it's that proven history that is your assurance that their professionals will get the job done in a safe and timely manner that fits what you are looking for. Let's be honest, nobody wants a leak, whether it's your home or whether it's your business. Mid-State Roofing wants to be there for you. That's why they help you out 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. They are ready to make sure that your roof will keep you ready for all the spring rains and winds that may be coming through. So don't wait another day. Check out Mid-State Roofing and give them a phone call, 803-356-1919. Again, that's 803-356-1919. Let Mid-State Roofing help you 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. You'll speak with an on-call technician or a Mid-State Roofing employee. Give them a phone call today. Tell them Bill Gunner sent you.
Tyler Ed once again in the Wetzel's Automotive Traffic Center, getting you through the drive this morning with your traffic and weather. Taking a look out there on the roadways. Still have the accident at Piney Grove Road and 126. Be careful as you're heading through those areas. A couple accidents outside of the city to report. One at Fish Hatchery Road and Pine Ridge Drive, and then another one at Fish Hatchery Road and Glen Road as well. We approach 8 o'clock, still at about 50 degrees here in downtown Columbia. High today going to get up to 73. Still a slight chance of rain, but should see some sunshine as well. That'll carry on through the weekend. with highs of 68 tomorrow, 66 on Saturday, and then 70 on Sunday. It's traffic and weather here on the early game. And welcome back in. I'll get you back out to Bill and Preston here in just a second. But before we do that, I have a couple of pairs of tickets to go see the Fireflies in action tonight over at Segra Park. Actually, family 4-packs of tickets. 2 family 4-packs of tickets to see the Fireflies take on the River Dogs over at Segra tonight for callers number 4 and 5 right now at 803-404-6100. I'll jump on the phones to take your calls against caller number 4 and 5 at 803-404-6100. Win a family 4-pack of tickets to go see the River Dogs take on the Fireflies coming up tonight over at Segra Park. Back out to Bill and Preston.
Oh, good job, Tyler. Yeah, call in and win yourself some Fireflies tickets, and that'll be a lot of fun. All right, we are getting Preston set up across from us. We'll get the live stream changed here in just a minute as we get you set up and get you ready. I want to remind you, come on out all day long. We will be here at ProSwing, 4708 Forest Drive. You can give them a phone call, 803-528-1817, and find out how you can win tickets to go to the Masters for the final round. That's all you do is give them a phone call. Just find out. You get it to your office here in a little while. Give ProSwing a call or swing by and hang out today. Preston's getting a little bit of a tutorial to make sure watching the screens go across. But come on by. You can play a little golf. You can watch some golf. They're going to have it on the TVs here. If you want to have a beverage of your liking, maybe you can do that. You can hang out with us. Preston and I are here till about 9 o'clock this morning. I might be here just a little bit longer. Tyler will be over here along with Jack, and then we'll have, of course, Terry and Tyler and Jay and Elijah. We'll be here all day until 6 o'clock as the countdown is on. Just about 3 minutes until tee off for the Masters as Preston's got his club. And all right, what do you think, big fella?
Torpedo Club. I'm ready to go. This is very fancy. A lot of technology looking at this club. Hopefully I can barrel one.
Barrel one, that's the key. Yeah. Now, are you going straight in? Are there any technique? Is there any technique? This is a tense. This is what your specialty is. We all have his specialties around here. Preston is our official inaugural golf starter. He's done it out at Charwood for our 107.5 The Game tournament. He is set to do it again here. Now, obviously, the Masters, a little bit different tournament. They do not allow. I think they finally put it on a video game. I think you could finally play it. I did just buy Austin the new golf game,
and they let you.
I can't remember if he has or not.
I don't know, man. They I'm sure they're obviously they're very tight with their licensing.
Yeah, they are. So instead, Preston's gonna tee off like next week's tournament. He's gonna lead us out on Harbor Town, is where he's gonna go and tee off here in just a second, and we'll get the camera up and running for him so that we can do this. But yeah, come by. We are out here at ProSwing all day long, and ProSwing is giving you a chance to win tickets to Sunday's final round at the Masters. How do you win them? Well, you come by here, 4708 Forest Drive, or you give them a phone call, 803-528-1817. 803-528-1817. Wait, are we ready to go? Hold on, this is live radio at its finest. All right, Jeannie, I tell you what, can you come get the camera? And if you can just turn it around. There you go. Jeannie doesn't want to be in the camera shot. She just wants to main it. Hold on, Preston. So we are hitting our inaugural Masters shot live from ProSwing here. And give me just a second, Jeannie. Give me just a second. Let's make sure. All right, turn it here. I'm going to turn it just a little. There we go. All right, here we go. Preston Thorne on the tee box. It's back. It's off, and he just dribbled it. Did not. Well, that did not go well. But the inaugural shot has been hit. And it did not. He was on number one. He was on number one on Harbor Town Links. Again, we couldn't get the Masters there. That's okay. That happens. He was on number one, and he dribbled it a few yards.
Much like the Braves did not get off to a great start, but that's okay. Got a lot of time left.
We're hitting the mulligan button. You have used a mulligan. All right, maybe we'll switch it around. I'll hit an inaugural shot here.
Yeah,
And actually,
let's
a
get
little fella just popped up and said, "Would you like advice from your caddy?" They have sent someone out to help you out. So yeah. So how'd you feel there?
Well, didn't quite get off to the start that I would have liked, but felt good. Ready to go now. I'm warmed up.
803-404-6100. So come hang out with us. Preston is good and warm right now, and we are officially the Masters now officially teeing off. We'll again keep you updated throughout the day on this. We will actually have a little bit of discussion on a golf shot clock. Preston Thorne.
Listen, man. Every sport is trying to innovate. Every sport is trying to keep up with the times. I know golf is feeling a little bit of pressure from the YouTube golf that we've talked about and all the other iterations of golf. And so it's just something that has been bandied about. And, it's just a conversation.
This is going to set me up for a rant. Old man's rant coming. We'll play some audio from that. We'll let you to listen to a few more things. Coming up later on this morning, 8:30, Josh Harris will join us live. He'll be from Darlington. We will get his picks and get some updates and see how Darlington went last week. So we'll be really good with all that. A lot to do this morning. Live from ProSwing 4708 Forest Drives, where you need to get out, hang out with us, check out some of the Masters, as it is now officially off and running. Whether they hit a tee shot or not, it doesn't matter. Preston Thorne has hit the official Masters opening tee shot, and we were ready to go. And good news, he didn't hit it into the water.
That I did not.
He did not hit it into the water. So you are listening to Preston Thorne, Bill Gunner, Tyler Head back in studio. It is the early game. For the Egton Law Firm. If you have received one of those mean, nasty notices from the IRS, you or your business could be in trouble. But that means there's somebody there to help you as well. And John Egton and his team, they've helped thousands of families just like yours reach the peace of mind you deserve with proven local solutions to help escape the IRS maze. So go ahead. Make the phone call today and take the first steps towards a worry-free life. Nobody wants the IRS breathing down their neck, so call John Egton and his team and get a free consultation. 803-771-9800. Again, that's 803-771-9800. Time is of the essence on this, so you don't want to wait another day if you've received one of these notices. Give John Egton a phone call, 803-771-9800. Tell him Bill Gunner sent you.
I think I was part of the TGL launch this year, which for those that didn't see, the Tomorrow Golf League, Tiger and Rory behind it, it's SoFi Center in Palm Beach Gardens, indoor, sort of just an enormous simulator. It was I thought it was a cool thing. It was fun. They have a clock, you see it, and the one person that got a violation, I believe there was only one, and it was Tiger, which that's how you know it's real. If they're gonna call a violation on him, then it's a real thing. But what you're dealing with is a big giant clock that you can see that's right there. And when it goes off, there's really nothing to do but say, well, that's a penalty. In golf, it's outdoors. You have a rules official with each group. It's a bit vague. And Harmon is a good dude who, I don't know if you've had him on the show, but he's a Georgia guy. He's a huge sports fan. And he knows that it takes too long. And he doesn't want to take that long. It's just, he's kind of got these ticks that he is pre-shot that he's working through. But the bottom line is, yeah, golf would benefit greatly if there was sort of a clock that we knew when it started and when it hit zero, you get a warning and then you get a penalty because the game does take a long time to get moving.
That is the voice of Scott Van Pelt on the Dan Patrick Show talking about a shot clock in golf. We don't have to change everything.
Ooh.
We don't have to change everything. Every little thing does not have to be. We don't have to change kickoffs. We don't have to put baseball pitchers on shot clock or on pitch clocks. We don't have to put golfers on clocks. It's golf. It's supposed to be, well, it's supposed to be relaxing. If you've played golf and you're competitive, or you're just a competitive person, golf is not relaxing.
Mm-hmm.
But you're supposed to be outdoors. You're supposed to enjoy time with friends or family, or if you want to play with your significant other. And if you do that, man, kudos to you. Like,
mm-hmm.
I don't, because golf is an agitating sport. Like, it is just, and it can bring out the worst in people. But we don't need, look, golf is a slow sport by design. I'm sorry. If you don't like it, it's not for you. It's okay. Soccer is not for everybody. Baseball is not for everybody. You mentioned it this week. Hey, if you don't like college basketball, you probably don't like the NBA. Then basketball is not for you. You're missing a good product, but cool, it's not for you. We don't have to change. We don't need these things going by in 2 hours and 30 minutes.
So is there a difference? And
they do technically have a clock, which I know Scott Van Pelt knows.
Is there a difference between, recreationally playing golf and professionally playing golf, or producing it for a TV product? Because this is a TV product.
Now, the clock in the TGL is great. It's a TV product. It's a fast-paced, quick move. They only play 15 holes. You want to shorten it? If you want to shorten it, just go to 9 holes. Just play 9 holes. I mean, if we're just going to change everything up. But,
this is really interesting because everybody has their thing where they want to hold on to some things and I do too, because I'm a traditionalist in some aspects and a progressive in other aspects. Because while you say we don't want to change everything, you were advocating for, live golf and wanting to wear shorts on the course and radios and stuff like that. Some people would say that's too far. So where are lines?
Yeah, I mean, I think you have to make the game look, for anybody that's played, how tough the game is. Recreationally, and to be a pro is a scene. Like, you go and you play with your buddies, at the local foursome over at Charwood, and some of y'all are hitting it, 250 and 260 or whatever, and you're like, man, he's smashing it out there. And then you go watch like Rory McIlroy or John Rahm or Scotty Scheffler, and you're like, no, that's smashing it. That's 300, 320, 330, whatever. But there's a recreational side to this, like what we're at today, where you can come in here, and that's perfect for golf. You can come in here for your lunch. You can grab a beverage. You can play 9 holes in an hour, maybe 18 holes in 2 hours max, and it's a recreational. It's a good time with your friends. Do not change the professional game. All right. Do not change. Listen, I've been on a course where people are playing slow. It is up there with one of the most aggravating things in the world. But that you're not going to – there's no way when you go play recreationally and you go out to Charwood, you're yelling at the people in front of you, hey, you just had a shot clock violation. Pick it up and move on, buddy.
Mm-hmm.
Like, just go with it.
So what's the common courtesy when you're playing the pros? Everybody knows there's a certain time, and you're supposed to stay within those realms. How does that work when you're playing? Like, say for today for the Masters, you can take as long as you want. Everybody has a gentleman's agreement. What's the rule?
So the rule in golf, they are technically on a clock, a pace of play clock, and if you fall behind that pace of play clock, then you technically do get put on a clock. At that point, you're really being monitored, and when you're really being monitored, if you don't hit your shot, I don't know the exact legitimate rules to it, but I know if you don't pick up your pace of play, if you don't hit your shot, you can be penalized a stroke.
Okay.
So there is a pace of play. I'll see if I've never, very rarely do you ever see it enforced, but there is some standards. So it says the pace of play guidelines encourage players to make a stroke in no more than 40 seconds after they are ready to play, and to move promptly between strokes and to the next tee, aiming to keep up with the group in front. But that's also from the USGA, which is recreational, is in that what is suggested.
Okay, all right. I'm just looking to see how that works as far as who gets penalized, or if people get penalized, or if it's just a gentleman's agreement that we're playing within the pace of play. Like I said, this is not my realm. I just think it's interesting as but again, the competing forces, they're competing against good golf and all these other golfs on YouTube that are pace of play is quick, it's edited, it's moving, it's fast. Bryson DeChambeau's playing on YouTube. I saw him play 18 holes in 30 minutes. That doesn't happen, but because it's edited. And how does that build into the next generation's expectations of what golf is?
Stephen Hartwig helps me out here a little bit. He says in the group, if the entire group, even if one person is the culprit, the entire group gets a 1-stroke penalty. If a group in the PGA is not moving fast enough. When you say how there's golf is evolving, and it's evolving into recreational, like what we're at today. It's evolving into going out with your buddies and playing, and then there's going to be the professional aspect of it. And I guess from my standpoint, I'm going to yell and scream and pitch a fit and roll around on the floor if they ever decided to invoke some kind of shot clock. Again, what Scott Van Pelt's talking about with the TGL, yeah, it was perfect. And you also had noise there with a heartbeat sound, and I know that probably gets to a couple players. Like, it was perfect. But that is a made-for-TV event. That is a legitimately made, whereas I can't say that. I mean, the Masters is not a made-for-TV event. The Masters has been around. What are we on? How many Masters are we on here? What is this? Masters was around before we were doing TV.
I don't know, man. It feels like it's a pretty big.
I mean,
TV
yeah,
product. I'm talking about today.
It is a TV. It is a TV. No, I mean, but even the Masters themselves have gone to basically buying up all the airtime and having 3 or 4 sponsors, so you get 54, 56, 57 minutes of time without commercials. I'm just trying to look. It was established. Masters was established in 1934. Did we have TVs in 1934? I have no idea. I apologize for not knowing this. If somebody wants to yell at me, I didn't show up today prepared to go into a rant on the age of television.
Man, see, that's the thing about rants. You got to have them locked and loaded.
Well, I wasn't going.
You got to carry these rants with you.
The rant was, listen, we're not doing a shot clock.
Okay, there you go.
TGL's great. Don't do it. Don't do it. We'll come back. Hour 3 on the way. Josh Harris will be set to join us. Get back into a little bit of Lenora Sellers, and we'll keep you updated on what's going on in Augusta. It's the early game. Bill Gunner for Zero Risk Carpet and Air Duct Cleaning. And as we are in the month of April, you're probably dealing with pollen. You're probably dealing with people tracking pollen into your house on their shoes, or the cats or the dogs are bringing it in on their paws. And now you got it all over those beautiful carpets, the rugs, the upholstery, and you got to get it cleaned. Well, with Zero Risk Carpet and Air Duct Cleaning, now is the time to take advantage of their April sale. You just need to give them a phone call today and speak with them and mention me, Bill Gunner, at 107.5 The Game. And you'll get 3 rooms of carpet cleaned for the price of 2. That phone number, 262-4020. You can book online, ZeroResColumbia.com. You heard that right. Mention me, Bill Gunner, at 1075 The Game, and you'll get 3 rooms of carpet clean for the price of 2. But you got to give them a phone call, and you got to mention me, 803-262-4020, or schedule online, ZeroResColumbia.com. Zero Res. Spell it backwards or forwards. It's the right way to clean.
And let's take another look at your traffic and weather for your ride in on this Thursday morning. As we look around Columbia, you have an accident at Hugie Street and Blossom. Careful as you're making your way through there. Another one at Forest Drive and Percival Road as well. But it's all the accidents I'm seeing on the roadway at this current moment. Take a look at your weather. Still about 48 degrees here in downtown Columbia. High today will get up to 73 with plenty of sunshine that'll carry through the weekend. High tomorrow 68, 66 on Saturday, and 70 with lots of sunshine on Sunday as well. It's your traffic and weather on the early game from the Wetzel's Automotive Traffic Center.
We're back. 8 a.m. Hour number 3 live from ProSwing. Preston Thorne has hit the inaugural Masters opening shot. We have no clue what's happening down there. We're not even worried about it. Preston has led us out the gate here on a Thursday morning live from ProSwing, where you can come and hang out with us this morning, be a part of the program. If you want to join us, we can sit here and talk to you, or you can sit here and watch some of the Masters, whatever it is that you want to do. Come by, though, and visit, or give them a phone call, 803-528-1817, and you can find out how you can win tickets to go to the Masters for the final round on Sunday. The winner will be announced on Friday evening, April the 11th. That's tomorrow, 5:30 p.m. live right here on 107.5 The Game. So either come by and hang out, 4708 Forest Drive, and talk to the people here at ProSwing, or give them a phone call, 803-528-1817, and ask about how you can win tickets to go to the Masters for the final round on Sunday. We'll tell you more about what we're doing here at ProSwing, but also we'll get you ready for baseball tonight. Preston Thorne, South Carolina, and Texas A&M. Preston Thorne, one of the few times ever putting the brakes on the biggest series of the season.
Yeah, just a little bit of a slowdown, not so fast. We gave it the designation last weekend. Unfortunately, it didn't live up to where we needed them to do. So we're going to put it on pause for a minute. They win this series, we might be back. We might be back, because here's the deal. They don't win this series, we definitely can't do it again. So let's just hold on to it.
Okay. All right. I see where you're going with that. Very wise words from Mr. Thorne, because I had said I wasn't going to do it, and then here Thursday arrived, and I was kind of all geared up.
I mean, I get it. You know, we run ruled USC Upstate. We hit a walk-off homer, questionable whether it's actual walk-off, if it's a run rule, but that's besides the point. I understand how you could get yourself back to there, but we need to see some things this weekend.
So we will try and do our best to stay maintained. It is a big series. Though South Carolina they need to win an SEC series. They need to take 2 of 3. Here is Paul Maneri from earlier this week talking about Texas A&M, who Texas A&M struggling, mind you. It's not like Texas A&M is some great baseball team. They're 17-15. They're 3-9 in conference, but they did just go to Knoxville and take 2 of 3 from Tennessee. Here's Paul Maneri Tuesday night talking about Texas A&M and taking 2 of 3 from Tennessee.
Well, I would, I'm not involved with their team, so I couldn't begin to guess, what they're thinking or feeling about themselves. But it was pretty impressive what they did in that doubleheader against Tennessee. I think they hit 7 home runs in the second game that day. Tennessee is a very small ballpark, and they usually use it to their advantage, but this time it bit them in the other direction. But, Mike's a first-year head coach, Mike Early, and he's a good guy and a great coach, I think. Always been a good hitting coach. And I know that's been a big struggle for him this year. They got no hit on Friday and then turned around and scored 26 runs in 2 games the next day. So I would think that they're feeling pretty good about themselves. Sometimes you think you're going to catch a team at the right time, and then all of a sudden there they go and explode. But listen, I've always enjoyed going to College Station and Bluebell Park. All my years when I coached at LSU, it was always a great environment. The fans were really into it, and they've always had good teams. So I've always enjoyed great competition. So got my wish coming this weekend, I'm sure.
Well, Paul Maneri, this is the second time he's talked about how he enjoyed going somewhere. I think Fayetteville was the other one. That didn't go very well at all. But Preston, in all seriousness, this team right now, I don't know how much confidence you get in beating USC Upstate, but they need confidence on their side, and they need to hit the baseball. They need to kind of, in a way, they can be kind of like the Braves. They need to hit, and then they need the pitchers to step up. That's a concerning statistic that Texas A&M hit 7 home runs last weekend, because South Carolina really doesn't have a problem giving up a home run here or there.
Yeah, and I mean, like you said, it may not give them confidence, but it does get the stench. It's just like a shower. It gets the stink off. Get that last weekend off me. We're moving forward, and you can start to institute all of the practices that you have for the games moving forward. So you hope that you go into this game. Again, the reason why it's a big game, because they're not very good either. And so you want to beat the teams who you're supposed to beat. And this is where you figure out if you're better than these teams or if you're not.
Don't forget about our Palmetto Citizens Grand Slam contest giveaway. Congratulations. We had a winner yesterday, but it now starts back over. Pot down to $25, but you can go to 1075thegame.com to get registered. And if a Gamecock batter such as Dalton Mayshore did on Tuesday night. If a Gamecock batter hits a grand slam, you can win the cash in the pot. Right now, the pot, $25. So go to 1075thegame.com and get registered. We've also talked about Lenore Sellers this morning, Preston Thorne, talking about his ceiling. And who have I got in there? Tyler, you still in there, or we got Dave in there now? Still you. All right, let's listen in. This is Ari Weissman talking about Lenore Sellers and where he ranks, where they think of him in the national landscape of college quarterbacks.
You might think that we don't think Lenore Sellers is elite. And I wanted to set the record straight for both of us that that's not the case. Now, I'm willing to sit here and even say that it's not even remotely shocking or even surprising if Lenore Sellers turns out to have a better career. In fact, I think it's quite amusing and interesting that despite the fact that there are a bunch of really good newcomer SEC quarterbacks, a few others who are on this list, that there seems to be a direct face-to-face comparison between Lagway and Sellers, and I think it's because they're both in similar positions. And
I wish they played because South
play
Carolina and Florida used to play every year, and they're not on the schedule.
But I think that this is a nice olive branch to people who have been displeased with our lack of hype on Lenore Sellers' game as like a reassurance of like, hey guys, like we're with you, like we know he's good, you know. And he had a lot of great moments, and I think South Carolina makes the playoff if he doesn't get injured in the game. Which game was that? Was that the
LSU
game?
The LSU
game? Oh yeah. We were at Wisconsin that day, right? I remember watching it while we were walking back to the car on my phone.
Yeah.
But yes, so all the respect in the world for him, and I think that we're both also drinking Lenore Sellers Kool-Aid. We just like the flavor of Lagway a little bit better.
What you take away from that?
My first takeaway is I did like many of you all probably do when we're up here talking and we forget something and you're like, it's the LSU game. How could you not know that? I was listening to these national guys talk about the game that they did not quite remember. I know you all probably do that whenever you hear us stumble upon a word, but bigger than that, yeah, I think both of these quarterbacks were responsible for taking their teams out of Lagway, definitely responsible for taking Florida out of the dumps. Because if you remember where that team was before he took over, also curious as to why he wasn't starting from the beginning of the season. That's another question. But both of these quarterbacks are responsible for their team's success this year. And that's not any different from what a normal cornerback would be. But if South Carolina is going to be good this year, it's going to be because Lenore Sellers is good. And that's very simple.
Really?
Yeah. Who else is going to be?
Well, I don't know. Here's the thing with that. He's got to be special, but let's say he's special. Does he have it around him? I guess what I'm trying to say is, like, I feel like he can be special, and you can. I'm trying to think. I feel like Dylan Tom. I don't know.
Watch your mouth.
Watch
your mouth.
Yeah.
Watch your mouth.
Dylan made some plays.
Watch your mouth. That's
Dylan,
my guy.
Well, which one? Dylan,
that's my dude, man. I love that season.
But you would look at that season and he was special, right?
Yeah.
And what was that season? And by the way, that's the season also that you pointed out multiple times. Pharaoh was really special.
Yeah. And that's why I kind of had maybe when I think Andy Staples was talking about how Lenore Sellers raises this team's ceiling. And I'm not sure if he raises the team's ceiling, but he does keep them from falling in the basement. I think if he plays well, they will always have an opportunity to win. Now, does he have enough stuff around him that they can be special and win 9 games or 10 or make the playoffs? I don't know. That's yet to be proven. But as long as that dude is 16 is taking snaps, they don't have to be in the basement.
803-404-6200. So we've talked a little bit of golf, obviously, this morning. The Masters is underway as we get ready for that. Preston said his inaugural, that's the first time ever for the Masters opening tee shot. You are, again, becoming quite good at the opening tee shots for our Charwood event. We've also talked a little bit of baseball this morning, certainly a big series there, and a little bit of football. We come back. We'll get back into a little bit more football, let you listen to the ceiling. This kind of goes back to what you were just talking about, Andy Staples, talking about the ceiling for South Carolina football with Lenore Sellers and what he thinks could be. And we'll talk about that a little bit. You're listening to Preston Thorne, Bill Gunner. Somebody's back there producing. Tyler Head should be on his way here to ProSwing, where we are hanging out and want to see you today. So come on by and hang out with us. You're listening to Bill Gunner, Preston Thorne. It is the early game. Bill Gunner here. We are having a fantastic morning, and I tell you what, it's going to continue that way. You know why? Because here we're going to stay nice and dry because Mid-State Roofing, they make sure the roofs around here in Columbia and Florence, Myrtle Beach, they don't provide leaks. That's right. They've been doing it for 30 years. They've been the leader in the roofing and waterproofing industry for nearly 30 years, and it's that customer service, it is that attention to detail that lets you know that your roof is going to keep you or your operation, your business, dry and running long into the future. So give them a phone call, 803-356-1919. Again, that's 803-356-1919. Call Mid-State Roofing. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Mid-State Roofing is there to help you with a maintenance contract. You'll speak with an on-call technician or a Mid-State Roofing employee who's ready to make sure you get that maintenance contract you need. So call Mid-State Roofing today, 803-356-1919. Tell them Bill Gunner sent you.
All right, one more look at your traffic and weather before I bounce out of here from the Wetzel's Automotive Traffic Center. Let's take a look at your drive in this morning. Do have an accident to report in town still at Hugie and Blossom Street. Also one out in Lexington at I-20 eastbound at exit number 61. And then Forest Drive and Percival Road as well. Take a look at your weather. Still sitting about 48 degrees here in downtown Columbia. High today getting up to 73 with some sunshine. High tomorrow 68, 66 on Saturday, and then 70 on Sunday. That's your traffic and weather from the Wetzel's Automotive Traffic Center on the early game.
You got a chance.
All right, I'll call for that Andy Staples here. 8:17 as we roll along. Masters up and running. We've discussed that a lot. Again, we are live from ProSwing out here, 4708 Forest Drive, where you can, again, come by and hang out all day long. We are here 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. The shows will flow on through, and we will keep you updated. We are over here trying to analyze Preston Thorne. We're trying to analyze the television schedule for the Masters.
Yeah, it's too much. It's too much. It's too many options. You have to figure out what it is exactly you want to watch. Do you want to watch the range? Do you want to watch these guys here? Do you want to watch? It's a lot going on. So if you're into Masters coverage, just make sure you're all watching the same thing, because you might be on different streams and different channels.
I tell you what, let's listen to this yesterday. This is what we're going to get to football back in a second, and we got Josh Harris coming up from Darlington here in a few minutes as well. But we laughed about this. This was awesome. Now it's radio, so it's hard to kind of tell what's going on. But this is Roy McIlroy's daughter. This is cut 3, Tyler or Dave. This is cut 3. Roy McIlroy's daughter in the par 3 contest yesterday. They let her hit a putt, and Preston, can you describe? I mean, I know you're not a golfing savant, but she doesn't exactly line it up. She just kind of swings a club and taps the ball.
I mean, I don't know. I don't know. I would describe the putt. It was far. That's the best way to describe it. I would say this: if anybody else hit that putt in the Masters, you'd be like, "Oh yeah, that was a great putt."
It is. Let's let you listen to the audio call of it here. This is Roy McIlroy's little daughter, Poppy McIlroy, making a putt yesterday, and listen to the explosion here. That just a neat for Roy McIlroy. That moment, I put this on Twitter, will be better than any major he wins, to see his daughter do that. You got to watch the video of it. Shane Lowry's in there. Lowry's jumping up and down. The crowd screams so loud that the young little lady gets scared and starts crying and hugs her dad. I mean, it's a really cool Masters moment.
Poor Poppy's gonna be chasing that high for the rest of her life, man. She might never get a pop from a crowd like that again. So
yeah,
you're gonna need to hold on to that video for as long as you live, because that was a great shot.
Yeah, you gotta. It's a really cool. And then it was really cool to see Shane Lowry involved. Poppy McIlroy, just 4 years old. But Preston, I mean, you've got a young daughter. My daughter was young once. Now she's a 15-year-old terror. But yeah, it's cool to see your daughter. Don't get me wrong with sons, but with your little daughter to do something like that, that's really cool.
Yeah, I'm sure that was an awesome moment. But yes, you're right. I do have a 5-year-old daughter, and what I wonder is how long after she made that putt did she cry about something, about not getting her chicken fingers or whatever? Like, she went into the clubhouse and she did not like the egg salad sandwich.
Didn't get a soda.
Pitched a fit, and I was like, "Oh, that was so cute. You were so cute 30 minutes ago, and now you're back. you are back.
For everybody out there that's a parent and has been through something like that, to see it, you know exactly what Preston. Yeah, because in her mind, she's like, yeah, okay, I don't know what I did. I do know I see orange soda over there.
I want another cookie.
Yeah. Really cool. If you haven't seen the video, go check it out. It
is really cool.
Is definitely worth it. Let's listen to Andy Staples yesterday. This is Andy Staples talking about the ceiling for South Carolina now with Lenora Sellers. And we'll talk a little bit about Lenora Sellers and these wide receivers. Here's Andy Staples yesterday talking about Lenora Sellers. Okay, Dave is in there.
What's
now.
up, Dave?
All right, we had our line change. Okay, that is going to be cut number 5, Captain Dave. Captain Dave in. Tyler Head now making his way over here. All right, Captain Dave, we're going to play cut number 5. Andy Staples talking about Lenora Sellers.
Yeah, I'm very excited to see this because I think Lenora Sellers raises it's similar to the DJ Lagway conversation. Like Lenora Sellers, by merely existing, raises South Carolina's ceiling. He raises everyone else on the team. He makes them all better. I think DJ Lagway may have a little bit better supporting cast right now, and it's up to South Carolina's receiver group to prove me wrong on that. Like,
yeah,
I want Nick Harbor to become the Nick Harbor of the video game. I think we get that. We see even more from Lenora Sellers because I think he was doing it a lot on his own last year is what it felt like. Now, they had a freshman receiver last year who was pretty good, Mazio Bennett. I think, he gets better. You get a little more out of him. I'm excited for what Lenora Sellers can be, and I hope he can stay healthy as well because I feel like that they lose to Ole Miss, and it wasn't really close, but Lenora Sellers was hurt, and I think there was a lot to do with that too. So I'm really hopeful that we get fully healthy Lagway and Sellers seasons here.
Yes.
Because I think they could be so special.
What he said, and that's another part. You say Lenora Sellers special this year, but I don't know if Lenora Sellers being special makes the wide receivers better. Does that make sense? And I think I like the wide receivers, but they got to prove themselves.
Yeah, I mean, this is obviously a very sport conversation. Does he raise the ceiling or does he raise the basement? I don't know. He could, yes, Lenora Sellers being better as a quarterback and a thrower of the ball can make the wide receivers better because he might be able to place them in better positions to catch the ball. He might be able to throw them open a little bit more, or he might be able to have, ball placement where they don't have to make as difficult catches. So, yes, him being better as a thrower can make the wide receivers better, but obviously it can also work vice versa.
So then you talk about the wide receivers and poor Nick Harbor. It's probably not good to be known for what you are on a video game as opposed to what you are in real life, right?
Yeah, I mean, I'll go out there and say Nick Harbor in real life will not become the Nick of the video game. I wonder if there's a readjustment coming in that in that rating.
I would imagine there is.
Because he was absolutely ridiculous in the video game. He's so good that people know of him only because of the video game, right? I mean, we know of him locally, but there's people around the country, around the world that only know of that guy from South Carolina who's very, very fast and very big. If he can just continue to steadily improve on the progress that he made last year, I think that would be a tremendous success for him this year.
Yeah, and that's I think with Mike Furry, I think personally Mike Furry did a really good job last year. I thought he did a exceptional job of developing. I think you saw Mazio Bennett as a true freshman coming on. You saw Jared Brown make strides throughout the. Remember, Jared Brown had a big drop early on in the opener, the season opener. I thought that you saw Nick Harbor develop. Now, the question that you brought up that we kind of laughed about. Do we give credit to Mike Furry or should we give credit to the team eye doctor who was like, all right, guys, because also you get Lenore Sellers seemed to improve dramatically once we went to the contacts.
Yeah, both of them went to contacts. I mean, it's documented where Nick said he just did not see the ball well, and you can't catch if you don't see, especially on the adverse conditions. And so he puts in contacts, his eyesight gets better. His catching improved, and as caller earlier, I forget which texter, but yeah, he did not have drops last year. He didn't struggle with drops. Any drops that he had were, maybe balls that were difficult to catch. but he struggled with drops earlier in his freshman year. And come to find out, a lot of it was because he just could not see. And so, yes, that is a huge improvement that he made. They don't, and here's the interesting thing: we talk about how fast people run. We talk about how big they are. We take their 40 times in their vertical. Why don't we test their eyesight?
I mean, hey, you might be
It's a
onto
really
something.
simple deal. Like, I know you can run a 4.3, but do you what's it? How big on that chart? What does that E look like on the bottom line?
Are
right
you
there?
running a 4.3 because you think you got to run 60 yards?
Yeah.
You think you've only
I
run?
think there's a really simple evaluation tool that maybe I'm gonna stash that one. Let's X that one out, and I'm gonna sell that to recruiting services. I'm gonna say, hey, listen, I got a new test. It's called the eye chart.
You're right. I mean, there's nothing. What you're saying is not wrong at all. Like, yeah, you should have. Probably you bring guys in or you bring them to your camp. Oh, you're really good at catching. That's awesome. Okay. Okay. You're in and out of your cuts really well. Oh, good hands. Nice. Very okay. All right. Let's go over here. Got the team optometrist and let's get you to have an eyesight test.
Do me a favor. Can you? I can't see what that says over there. Can you read that sign for me? Oh, you can't. All right. Mark them down.
Yeah. Don't.
It's real. Just we don't even have to be. Just be subtle about it.
803-404-6100. Coming up next, we catch up with Josh Harris from Darlington Raceway. We were down there last Friday, Preston. It was an early morning, but we got through, turned into a great race. We'll tell you all about that when we come back. You're listening to the early game.
Got a wreck at I-20 eastbound at 378, exit 61. Also, North Pines at Wilson Boulevard, Hugh G at Blossom. Forest Drive at Percival Road. Weather outlook for today, partly cloudy skies, 73 for a high, 48 for your overnight low. Tomorrow, 68 for a high. Saturday, 66 for a high. Sunday, 70 for a high. Monday's going to shoot all the way to 83 degrees. This is Captain Dave in the Wetzel Automotive Traffic Center.
.33 on a Thursday morning. Bill Gunner, Preston Thorne, live from ProSwing as we get you up and get you going here. We got a lot going on. Hope you can come out and join us and join the rest of the teams. We'll be here from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. all day long, hanging out and having a good time. Last Friday, we were in Darlington, and we were joined by Mr. Josh Harris, who we hung out with and had a really good time with. Mr. Harris, how you doing this morning? A little bit more relaxed morning for you than last week, I'm going to assume.
Yeah, definitely a little more relaxed. I'm a big sports fan, so excited for the Masters to start today. Can enjoy that this weekend and not have any stress. So, but yeah, it was a great weekend overall. Enjoyed spending some time with you guys and Jen last week here at the track on Friday, and it set us up for a great weekend.
Yeah, because if the Masters is going last weekend, there's no way you can enjoy the Masters. Like you can't even think about it. So it's almost like a perfect vacation setup for you.
Yeah, I mean, I was aware of the Final Four going on, but I didn't really have a whole lot of
Right.
interest in it.
Right.
And come Monday night, a 9 o'clock tip off, I didn't make it to halftime.
Correct. you joined the crew.
Well, let's ask you from your standpoint. Incredible race, and Denny Hamlin wins. So great call by you on that.
Hey, I'll take it. I just had a feeling, he seems to get in these, times of the year where they just either they're running really well or they're a little bit of good fortune or both, and he seems to rack up wins in bunches. So glad to make that pick. It didn't look like it was going to work out there for a long time in that race with William Byron setting sail out the front, leading so many laps to start that race, but that's why we hang around to the end. It was a great finish, and then it was a great way to cap off an overall, great weekend at the track.
Yeah, let's go back to that. All right, now it's in the books. Compare and contrast real quick your thoughts on having it Mother's Day weekend against the first weekend in April.
Well, I mean, we were fortunate, weather-wise. We got a pretty warm weekend. As you know, it was in the 80s. We didn't have any rain, which was always a great combination when you get warm weather, no rain. And the fans turned out. We had a great crowd on Saturday for the Xfinity race and Sunday. So all in all, I think we got great positive feedback from fans, from the industry, and it worked out. So we'll see how the schedule shakes out next year. If we're back in this early to mid-April time slot, that'll be great. And if we end up back on Mother's Day at some point, we'll make that work as well. But what I really like is now we get a little bit of extra time between the spring event and planning for Labor Day. So take a little bit of a time to decompress here and then ramp right back up and start our planning for the Cookout Southern 500.
Yeah, you get ready for that. How quickly do you assess? And you just kind of mentioned, I know we're sitting here on Thursday, so you've had a little bit of this week to kind of assess. How quickly do you assess what you thought went right, what you thought went wrong? How does that process go for you there and trying to now get ready for Labor Day?
Yeah, well, I mean, myself and our team, we're taking notes throughout the weekend, things that we can maybe improve on or do a little different the next time. So, what I ask our team to do is take some time while it's fresh, take down their notes from the weekend, compile them, send them to me, and then we have a large group recap meeting here in a couple of weeks to talk about it all and give us some ideas and things that we want to focus on going through the summer. And some of them may be, longer term things that we have to plan out, but we want to focus on the things that we can quickly implement to make that fan experience continue to grow and be the best that it can be as we get ready for the playoffs to start for both the Cup Series and the Truck Series.
So let's go back to last weekend. Obviously, you talked about, yes, you had a feeling that Denny Hamlin would win, and that's a very good call. That was a great call, and it was a great win for old Denny. I'm happy for him. And by the way, that now puts you in a tie for me for first place with 29 points. So very good job there. Congratulations on that. You will pick last today because you won the race.
I tell you this, you won't be picking Denny Hamlin this week.
As if okay, all right. Preston, by the way, has first pick, so
I'll tell you that.
All right, we'll do that. But your overall thoughts on the race and some of the things you saw that maybe. And I don't. By the way, real quick, do you like a coach? You're doing so many things, and we've talked to you. You get a few minutes to really look and enjoy the race. Do you go back and rewatch the race afterwards to actually see the race?
Yeah, I probably won't sit and watch the entire thing, but I'll watch parts of it. There's a couple of reasons why. One, I love seeing the aerial photos from the broadcast just to give me a perspective of how everything looks, from up high. But yeah, we'll take a look and see how the race played out because I'm running around from point A to point B to C and all around throughout the race, talking to people, trying to make sure that I'm putting my eyes on various parts of, the fan experience, whether that's concessions or concourses, et cetera. So I'm always kind of looking and seeing what's going on in the race and trying to keep up with it. But, at the end of the day, though, I don't have a lot of impact on the product on the track other than making sure that the track surface is ready to go. But it's always good to just kind of know how the race played out, what factored into the outcome. And, just as I paid attention to it, following various sports writers that cover the sport, it was clear that William was running a slightly different line than I think a lot of people have done, all the way up against the wall in both ends of the track and found some speed there. Whether that was through some simulation they did earlier in the week or in the off season, but they came with a strong car and a good line that not everyone else was able to match. And as long as he was out front, no one could get him. And then certainly with the cautions there towards the end, it changed things up a little bit. He got behind and ultimately, Denny came out of that last caution going into overtime, and he's hard to beat on restarts.
Let's make some picks here. I'm assuming we now know who your pick is going to be, Preston Thorne.
You are assuming correct, Bill. I am going with tried and true. I don't expect him to win again this week, but I do expect him to perform. Give me Denny Hamlin.
Denny Hamlin is the betting favorite this weekend in Bristol for the race, and so that makes it interesting. You have also now just taken Reggie Anderson's number one pick. So
even better.
So you know what? And Josh and Jen's not here to defend herself, so whatever. I just want to show y'all, like, all of a sudden, who has won? Let's see. Josh won with Denny Hamlin already this year. Reggie won with Denny Hamlin. Maybe my Denny Hamlin strategy at the end of last year wasn't such a dumb strategy. Maybe my love for Denny Hamlin and picking him from time to time might just seem to be a reason I'm constantly at the top. Maybe. Josh, would you now now that Jen's not here to put down that idea, get on board with that?
Hey, he's put some points on the board for various competitors in this pool, so I can't complain about it.
Yeah, what I think what has happened this year is people have caught on, and now when I'm picking fourth or fifth, Denny Hamlin's not falling to me quite like he used to. It was a little bit different. Jen is going to go with Chase Elliott. That is her number one pick. She gets Chase Elliott with her pick. That brings us to Reggie. Reggie wants Kyle Larson. That was his number 2 pick. He had Denny Hamlin at number 1. And then I have now lost 2 of my top 3. I think William Byron is going to get it done this weekend. How you feel about that, Josh? William Byron for the win this weekend.
Well, I think that's a solid pick. I had 4 names written down, and 3 of them are gone. So I'm going to go with Christopher Bell.
That was actually, I narrowed it down to Byron or Bell. So that is a good pick. So welcome to Rarefied Air. You are tied for the lead now in the Corley Pool Solutions Checkered Flag Challenge. Congratulations to you, good sir. Welcome to my territory.
All right. Well, sounds like we've got a tight battle here shaping up early in the season, which is great, and can't wait to see how things unfold at Bristol this weekend.
I tell you what, before we let you out, you said you're going to sit down, you get to relax a little bit this weekend. Who you got for the Masters this weekend?
And I'd love to see Rory get that one checked off his list.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. I think I'm pulling for Rory. Hopefully his mind isn't the reason that he loses, but I'm with you, Josh. We always appreciate it, and we look forward. Jen will be back next week, and we look forward to catching up with you.
All right, sounds good.
Take care. Josh Harris.
Appreciate it, Josh.
Darlington Raceway president there. So Preston goes with the Denny Hamlin strategy.
Listen, I need something.
Took a couple years. People are buying in. 803-404-6100. We'll come back. We'll wrap things up live from ProSwing. Preston Thorne, Bill Gunner, Captain David Ayer back in studio. It is the early game. Big thank you to Mr. Josh Harris for joining us this morning.
Fresh
Off
off
our trip last week to Darlington, and now we've been out here at ProSwing 4708 Forest Drive.
Just because we are about to wrap things up does not mean they are wrapping things up by any means today. As Tyler Head pulling in right now, ready to get his program going in just a few minutes after helping us this morning, getting us through the morning. Big thank you to Tyler. Jen will actually be back tomorrow. But Tyler and where's that headset, Tyler? Go over here and hop on there for a second. Because Tyler was telling us, I believe off air. It's tough these mornings, aren't they?
Yeah,
you fell for a nap
yesterday.
When you don't do this every single day, you fall into some bad habits. And so the problem was I set my alarm for like 4:30. It's about roughly 2-hour nap. Got home, ate some other things. I'm like, okay, take about a 2-hour nap, get up, do some work, and be good to go. I forgot to change the alarms to PM, still an AM, and I woke up at about 5:30.
You wake up with the where am I?
A little bit. I felt great. I felt very well rested. Unfortunately, that didn't lend to good sleep last night.
That's an issue. Yeah, you got to treat yourself like a baby. You got to treat yourself like a baby. Do I have can't let myself go to sleep so I can sleep tonight.
Right. Yeah. It's a balance.
Yes. You have to have that balance going in. That's it.
Well, the key is also you have to kind of learn how to take a nap, but also learn how to sleep at night. There's an art form to that people don't realize because I've kind of figured out how to master that fairly well. Yeah. So
breaking news.
Also,
AJ Smith, the offensive coordinator of the San Antonio Brahmas in the UFL has stepped down.
Oh no!
We have a bad start.
Just in case anybody's wondering,
we
has stepped down. Now we being the Birmingham Stallions.
Of course, because Skip's going for the corner
going for the quad here. So it just weakens the league and it just putting us in a better position. So I didn't know if you could move forward the broadcast without knowing that AJ Smith has stepped down as the OC of the San Antonio Brahmas.
Okay.
Do we have a hot board?
An early hot board.
I believe somebody has taken this job. I can do a little research for you.
I will say this. I actually, in flipping channels the other day, did watch maybe about a drive of a USL game the other day. They actually have the coordinators mic'd up. You can hear their play calls. And I'm watching this like, that seems like a very easy way to figure out what the other team is doing.
Let's just get the TV copy of that game. Yeah, Bill. Peyton Harden, the wide receiver special teams coach, has taken over as the OC.
Interim? Or
I guess he's on a performance contract now. We have to see how he does.
Okay.
We don't face him for 4 more weeks, so I'll have an update on them when we approach that bridge.
There is your official UFL update from our own correspondent, Preston Thorne. Very good information there, Mr. Thorne. I appreciate you trying to get that out there for all of us to follow and to keep up with UFL football. And this week is a Friday night game.
Friday night game against the Arlington Renegades.
Okay, all right. Nobody has covered on the UFL White Light early game. We make sure you know exactly what's going on. It is our goal to keep you informed on all things sport. We wrap things up here this morning. Some of the discussion has been Lenore Sellers. Your thoughts on what we heard regarding Lenore Sellers from Ari Weissman and from Andy Staples.
Yeah, I guess the big thing is just hearing them talk about it from a national perspective. Obviously, we are well versed in everything Lenore Sellers around here. But I do like hearing the national perspective about what he says. And nationally seems to be there's pretty high expectations for him.
Tyler, you haven't noted, so I don't want to steal too much from your content here. But you heard that. What was your kind of take on the national perspective there? Because it felt like they were almost like apologizing for having DJ Lagway ahead of Lenore Sellers. It's almost an apology, but it's almost like, hey, we still do like this guy.
Yeah, and look, I think those two quarterbacks are going to be compared to each other a lot this upcoming season because they both kind of hit their stride at the same time towards the back half of last season. I'm going to get into a little bit more just how similar they are and who's going to be doing more of the heavy lifting this year because I think Lenore Sellers has a little more of an uphill climb this year than DJ Lagway has based on what's coming back around him.
It'll be interesting to see. Masters, you want to take a pick? You want to take a swing at this?
Yeah, I haven't looked at the field. I'm really interested. I like the mental side of sports, so I would love to see, for everything that I've known of Rory, He seems to have been somebody who upholds values and all that stuff. I'd like to see him overcome that mental hurdle and win.
Rory is a very, I think it's becoming a very controversial topic for a lot of people because he has a, what do you want to say, an articulate side, a baby side to him. He can be a whiner. But he was a guy that was expected to do so many big things and roared out to the beginning of his career. And now it's been over a decade since he won a major. You've seen him mature a little bit. The problem is the mental sports psychology side has not matured. And he's blown several opportunities. This is for the career major. I'm pulling for him. I don't think he gets it done, but I'm pulling for him. I see someone like a Colin Morikawa getting his first green jacket. I don't want to take away if you're making a pick later on, Tyler, but while you're sitting here with us, thoughts?
I got to roll with hand on Scotty.
He's the pick. I mean, he is the pick. I will also say this, and I watched the thing on him yesterday, and Wesley Bryan has been hitting us up. We're going to get Wesley Bryan over here. He wants to join us. Bryson DeChambeau continues, I think, to become a popular golfer because of the YouTube stuff and everything. I'm interested to see how he performs this week. And I hate to say this because I've had a love-hate affair with Bryson DeChambeau. Disliked him, loved him, went to the LIV Tour, disliked him, and I'm coming back around to him. I kind of hope he performs well also.
That'd be interesting. That'd be interesting to see. As I said, I've been more exposed to him because of the clips that I've seen with him playing recreational golf on YouTube and other variations. So I'll be interested to see how that goes.
If you're not going to the Masters, come by 4708 ProSwing. We look forward to seeing you. Have a great day.
See you tomorrow. Appreciate y'all.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
Is this your bag, James? Yeah, I'm gonna be set up right here.
Bill Gunner for Love Chevrolet I-26 in Harbison between Lowe's and Frankie's Fun Park, where the springtacular deals, well, they continue to roll. That's right. You need to get out to Love Chevrolet this month and check out the incredible lineup of award-winning Love Chevrolet vehicles. They also have exclusive deals on Love Chevys. The 14 acres of brand new Chevys that you can go and check out. Well, you need to get out there this weekend. That's right. You can skip a few hours of golf time, go check out that incredible selection of Love Chevrolet vehicles, 14 acres to choose from, and of course the $1,000 low price guarantee. You can shop other dealerships, take their deal back to the folks at Love Chevrolet, and they will top on the right to a check for $1,000. Hasn't happened yet, won't happen anytime soon. So you need to get out to Love Chevrolet today. I-26 in Harbison between Lowe's and Frankie's Fun Park. Visit Love Chevrolet, and together, let's drive.
All right, some new wrecks, but we're still looking at 20 eastbound 378, exit 61. Hugh G at Blossom, still there. Forest and Percival, wreck there. A new one at Two Notch Road. It's going to be right at Clemson Road. Highway 6 at Platte Springs at Knowles Station. An accident there as well. Partly cloudy skies, 73 for your high today. Tomorrow, 68 for a high. Saturday, 66 for a high. And then Sunday should be sunny all day, they say, with 70 for a high. And then Monday, it's going to get downright hot, 83 for your high on Monday. And Tuesday will cool off just a little bit again under partly cloudy skies for 77. This is Captain Dave, Wetzel Automotive Traffic Center.
Nine o'clock on your Thursday morning. Welcome in. It is the Extra Point. Tyler Head along with you at ProSwing in Forest Acres for day number 2 as we're getting you set for the Masters this upcoming weekend. Great day out here yesterday and excited to be out here once again today. Jack Felcher, unfortunately, not joining us here at ProSwing because he's got a flight to catch. You got to be out at Texas A&M by tonight. As for those that aren't aware, the series against the Aggies gets rolling later on today.
Yeah, it's going to be a really interesting series because, number one, South Carolina has been struggling for the better part of this entire SEC slate so far, 2-10. And then you got Texas A&M, a team that was struggling probably just as much, if not more, than South Carolina. And then, as we'll get into here, the Aggies seemingly have turned a corner, I should say, but obviously there's still some work to be done.
I think it's convenient that schedule makers of the SEC, made this a Thursday through Sunday, so you can get back here and watch the end of the Masters by the time you get home.
Oh yeah, totally. I'm planning on watching the Masters on days 1 and 2 because the schedule works out to where it's night games both days. My flight's really early, so by the time you're on air and stuff, I'll already have been landed probably. So. Yep. I'm looking forward to it, and it should be a good weekend out there in College Station. Hopefully, from a baseball standpoint, I'm not sure what to really think. I mean, A&M is coming off that series win over Tennessee in a real stunner. I think, as we talked about yesterday, probably the stunner of the college baseball season, just in terms of no one really gave A&M much of a chance to go into Knoxville and win that series. Heck, I didn't, but. Right. They did, and now South Carolina has to deal with the fact that A&M might have just woken up at the right time.
We'll get into the specifics of this matchup in just a second, but it is 9 o'clock. That means we've got to kick things off with our Sandstorm Pick-Me-Up.
Time to get hyped. Here's your 9 a.m. Sandstorm. Sponsored by George Sink Injury Lawyers. Just call all nines.
It is time for your 9 a.m. Sandstorm Pick-Me-Up, brought to you by South Carolina's largest injury law firm, George Sink Injury Lawyers. If you've been hurt in the car or at work, call George Sink now at 803 all nines. Not going to be hearing any Sandstorm this weekend because it will be a road matchup out there in College Station. As you alluded to a moment ago, and as we kind of talked about on and off all week, it seems like A&M, unfortunately, has just hit their stride. This was a team that was projected number 1 overall for the season. They were projected to win the SEC. Again, they played for a national championship last year. They came up a little bit short, and you had the fiasco with Jim Schlossnagle deciding to go to the rival in Texas and all that kind of stuff. But they were